I'm Sally Sabasco with Eat Right for the Fight, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to make Sally's homemade chicken soup. Chicken soup is great for everything from fighting a cold to fighting cancer, and it's great even if you're not fighting anything, even if you just want a warm and fuzzy, wonderful meal, especially when it's chilly outside. It's something that always hits the spot. So let's talk about how to make homemade chicken soup, and we're talking about using all organic products now because that is the best thing to do when you're in the fight for your life. You want to make sure you're eating the best foods. So I'm going to keep talking about organics, and you can always assume that in these recipes that I'm talking about using organic products. So let's talk about what we can find for organic products to start the soup. Well, we're going to chop some onion, and we're going to take 1 or 2 stalks of celery, leaving the leafy greens on, 1 carrot, or 2 if you like, possibly a parsnip if you want to, and maybe a little sweet potato, and make sure you peel it, otherwise the peels come off anyway, and then they're just kind of these peels in there that aren't really so fun to eat. And then you're going to saute that with some in some coconut oil in a nice Dutch oven pan or whatever kind of pot you have to cook soup in. And you want to saute all of those in some coconut oil. Organic coconut oil is the best thing to use. If you don't have that, olive oil's okay, and even organic butter can be okay. A little bit of butter is okay. You just don't want to use a lot, and you don't want to use it all the time. But I would recommend the organic coconut oil first. So you want to add fresh or dried herbs. I prefer fresh, but there are many times you don't always have fresh herbs on hand, and especially organic. They are available, but there's a limited selection. So you want to grab whatever you can in the herb department, and you can use dried. So you want to throw in a bay leaf, oregano, basil, tarragon are some of my favorites to put in the soup, and then a lot of black pepper. I like to grind black pepper. You can get the grinders in the store nowadays pretty inexpensively, and they're disposable. You just recycle them, but they're great because they have like 3 different settings. Some of them have 3 different settings on them for the coarseness of the pepper. So I do like to grind a lot of black pepper. Now that's to taste. If you don't like a lot of black pepper, then I would recommend you put the amount in that you like. So you want to choose whatever herbs you like and leave out the ones you don't like. And then you can also add a little bit of fresh garlic, and you chop it up and put it in there at this point. And you could actually put in a tablespoon or so of tomato paste or sun-dried tomato paste. That's optional. You can make it either way. So when you do that, you want to saute that around a little bit, get everything, just kind of a little bit translucent looking, and then you're going to throw in your organic chicken. So you're going to throw in 2 chicken breasts, and then you can throw in some thighs and drumsticks, a combination of thighs and drumsticks. You don't need too much. If you've got 2 chicken breasts, you could get away with 4 thighs and a couple of drumsticks, or vice versa. That's probably plenty for 1 pot of soup. And once that's browned a little bit, the chicken gets browned a little bit, you want to pour in your organic chicken stock. Now, if you can't find stock, broth is okay too. It's I prefer the stock. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more heavier, but the broth will work just fine. It's not a problem. You can even make your own stock. This is how you make stock, actually, with the raw chicken like this and the vegetables and whatnot. You cook it down. So now we're just kind of double dosing it, and it just give it a lot of great flavor is all. But you want to bring the water to a boil, or not the water, the stock to a boil over top of the chicken. And you want to then turn it down. Once it's boiled, you want to turn it down right away and simmer it on very low for anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, just till the chicken is so cooked it's just falling off the bones. And this is what it will look like without the tomato paste, and then also with the tomato paste. It just gives it a little bit different flavor. Sometimes you just want to switch it up a little. And anytime during the time the chicken is cooking, you can then peel and chop more vegetables like carrots and any other veggies you might want to put in there. You can pick and choose what you think you want in your soup. I mean, it runs the gamut. It's whatever you like. basically. And you know, just keeping in mind that we don't want to use things like white potatoes and that kind of thing. I used to put a lot of white potatoes in chicken soup, but you know, that white potatoes unfortunately are among the list of things that unfortunately are on the feeding cancer side, and we don't want to use those. So I'm trying to avoid those. And that's why I put in a little parsnip. But you have to be careful with those too, because there's a lot of natural sugar in some of those things, and we don't want to feed cancer with the sugar. So just, you know, using them sparingly is a good idea. And then a little bit of a sweet potato, you know, that's, you know, one thing that you can have once in a while. It's not detrimental if you only have a little bit once in a while. And then you want to drain everything into a colander over another pot that's large enough to hold all the liquid once you've cooked it long enough. And then you want to let it cool long enough so you can handle it, because it's going to be super hot. So you don't want to try to handle it right away because it'll burn your hands. And then once it's cool enough, you can pick the chicken off the bones and then chop it into chunks or cubes. And then you want to put the liquid back on the stove. And you can put some of those cooked vegetables back in anytime you want during this process if you want to keep them. You don't have to, but you can, the cooked vegetables and herbs. And then you want to add your fresh raw veggies that you just chopped up. You want to put them in there so that they cook, and you want to cook them up so that they're, you know, crisp tender. You don't overdo them. You don't want them to be mushy. And you're going to heat everything up again, so it's okay if the vegetables are just a little crisp. So then you want to add any frozen vegetables you might want to put in, like organic peas, and occasionally, on a rare occasion, I'll put organic corn in there. So just be careful not to overcook the vegetables. So now, when you're done with all that, you put the chicken back in, and you heat everything till it's nice and hot. And you put the parsley back in. Put the parsley in when you put the broth in. That's fine. And now you're ready to enjoy this wonderful bowl of soup. Now we've found some cool crackers made only of Parmesan cheese. There's no wheat in them or anything, and we found them at Wegmans. So they're expensive, but they're actually a nice treat if you're going to have a bowl of soup. So with that said, I'm just going to let you know that there's a lot more at the tastydish.com /cancer fighting recipes site. And I hope you'll join me there, where I'm going to share a lot of other things. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.